Everybody out. Thank you so much, Aditi. It's a classic, right? It's Ravens Steelers, but it is the 2020 Wednesday circumstances that are very unusual, strange kickoff time, a lot of ins, a lot of outs. Is this going to be classic looking today?
Looking because of the snow and the uniforms. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer to start the show, but this is not going to be the Baltimore Ravens we are used to. No Lamar Jackson. Hey, no Lamar Jackson. No Patrick Ricard, who's their best blocker. No Willie Snead. As of yesterday, there were 18 different Ravens unavailable due to COVID-19 protocols. And then 2 players got removed from it, Dobbins and Ingram, and now there's 16. But we're talking about a shell of what the Ravens were even 2 weeks ago. And just to give you an idea of what the Ravens week was, and I know we're going to hit Pittsburgh and how unfair this has been for the Steelers because for the most part, they have been on their P's and Q's and they didn't do anything wrong here. Why are we getting our game pushed back 10 times?
Again?
Again, for the second time this year. The Ravens, as of last night, I was getting texts from people within the organization saying, what are you hearing from the league? Are we still playing? So think about boarding a plane. Not sure if this guy next to you might have COVID-19. He's tested negative as of yesterday, but who knows about today because there's been the most massive spread in all of professional sports within our building. And then saying, are we actually playing football tomorrow? We haven't had a chance to have a real practice. I just felt like this is a giant uphill climb for the Ravens. You will not recognize the Baltimore Ravens. This almost feels like a strike season shortened Baltimore Ravens with how different they will look. They can fight as hard as they want, but I hate to say it at, 7:05? I can't expect the usual Ravens Steelers tonight.
I hear you on that. I don't think we're going to get that same type of feeling. And I hate to be dismissive, but after looking at the Denver Broncos and what they did, putting out Kendall Hinton out there, I don't feel bad for the Ravens. Now, when it comes to COVID-19, that's a completely different conversation. We're talking football, purely X's and O's. On the flip side, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know that Barack Tomlin is what I like to call him. He's saying the right things, and he's been saying the right things all year. I mean, what did he say a couple weeks ago? Only thing perfect about us is our record. I thought that was a great statement to talk to a squad who might be feeling themselves a little bit. I know Eric Ebron. I look at him like a little big brother. He gets to feeling himself when he starts tweeting about how good they are, another win and another notch of the belt. I think Tomlin knows I got to talk to these guys. So he's either saying one or two things. Hey, don't let RG3 turn into RG3 of old and cook you guys today. This is a good team. Don't be that squad. Or he's saying, RG3 is not good enough to beat you guys. So how about you guys go out there and act like the undefeated team you are? Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in football. Go act like it. Who cares about other people's circumstances? What do we always say? When something negative happens in NFL players, the first thing he says, well, you only can control what you can control. Same thing applies to teams that are winning, that are up, that are undefeated. You only can control what you can control. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're the best team in football. Go out there and play like it.
They might be the best team in football. This is the strangest time slot in football. Peter, you slipped a couple of times. You said, I don't think we're going to see the Ravens tonight. It's not tonight. It's not. It's, all my rowdy friends are coming over Wednesday afternoon at 3:40 p.m. Between errands and school pickup. Like, it is a really strange thing. In fact, this is going to be the only football season in history, NFL season, to have a game every day of the week. The Saints and Vikings are playing on Friday and Christmas. All 7.
That's cool.
And you might ask, like, have they ever done this? What is Wednesday? I get Monday, Tuesday. They have, but it's really rare. The last time the NFL had a game on Wednesday, you got to go to 2012. Season opener, totally different context. New York Giants are coming off a Super Bowl win. They play Wednesday because President Obama claimed Thursday for the Democratic National Convention. He was speaking that night. So the Giants opened the season on a Wednesday. They got totally outplayed by the Cowboys. Tony Romo was brilliant.
Kevin Ogletree.
Kevin Ogletree game.
KO.
Romo wins, Mitt Romney does not. So that's 2012. But imagine, wait till you see how long it was before 2012. The last one before that, 1948 was a Wednesday. That's the last one until 20. There we go.
Oh, I love that pose.
Favorite pictures.
That's our pose.
That's our favorite pose. Every player ever did that pose. Catch them on. Now,
Because of the Rockefeller tree lighting?
Yes. Let's check this out. Check this out. This was the first game ever played with helmet logos. That gentleman right there, we're talking about Fred Gerke. He was an art major at Utah, and he's like, I hate these brown helmets. I'm going to paint some horns on them. They loved them. He started painting helmets for $1 a helmet. This is how long ago.
And he was a player?
There's a player. Fred Gerke went to Utah, art major. Before that
was mind-blowing to the fans.
That art. Like, dude, you could put horns on it? They loved it.
The 4-color TV. Think about if they saw a horn on a helmet.
It blew their minds. It was like when Dorothy went to Oz from Dorothy. What? And before that, again, this is how rare this is today. It was back to the 1930s. In fact, the first game in Steelers history, the first 4 games were all played on Wednesdays. They weren't the Steelers, they were the Pittsburgh Pirates. They lost their very first game ever on a Wednesday to the New York Giants 24-2.
Who's the little boy in the front?
That's the ball boy. That man grew up to be Ben Roethlisberger. He's been around that long. And the reason they were playing on Wednesdays was because of so-called blue laws in Pennsylvania, which discouraged activities on Sundays. They didn't want you playing on Sundays because the Sundays were sacred. So they had these laws, and Pennsylvania said, no football. They finally broke them down. They played Wednesdays. So the Steelers have a lot of experience, but it's not in 90 years. That is how unusual this is. Hank Williams, drop a new ditty. All my rowdy friends, Wednesday afternoon.
Are you here for it?
Hell yes,
yeah,
I'm here for
I figured you would be.
You know me.
I figured you would be,
I'm
even
here.
without Lamar. There's a lot of people that have fantasy people starting tonight. I wouldn't have recommended that. I would have said if you are within striking distance of having a Jordan Wilkins instead of a Gus Edwards in there, now we've got Ingram, of course, playing. J.K. Dobbins is back. I would have played all the guys that I knew were going to play on Sunday. But as for tonight, Ravens side, I can't think I'm excited about starting anybody. On the Steelers side, I kind of like Big Ben tonight. No Brandon Williams. I kind of like Benny Snell to do some things. Their front seven is a bit decimated, the Baltimore side. I like Juju. I like Deontay Johnson. Beyond that, I do not trust anybody. So we'll see the highlights tomorrow, and we'll get more from Aditi all day long, leading up to that 3:40 p.m. Eastern rowdy kickoff that we will have here on Wednesday, late afternoon football. Let's bring in Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet, on the Twitter machine, keeping us updated on everything. Schrager's got into this. The Ravens got on a plane. They flew to Pittsburgh last night. What is the league going to be watching between now and kickoff?
But first of all, as the Baltimore Ravens players and personnel were getting on the plane to fly to their game, they learned that they had 2 more positive tests, which is something, by the way, that has not stopped the cancellation, not led to the cancellation of the game, not led to another postponement for a very specific reason. It was 1 staffer and 1 backup player who plays on special teams. Both of these guys, from my understanding, were identified as potential risks. They did go through a walkthrough, a socially distanced, masked walkthrough, and this player who did test positive, who has not yet been named, they do not believe was a risk or a high risk, so it did not alter the game. But still, that means the Baltimore Ravens will play without having a day with no positive tests. But still, this game is today, later today at 3:40, hopefully without any rowdy friends because of COVID, slated to be played. Now, it still remains to be seen who actually is on the field. You mentioned the fact that Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins